Um, can you talk a little bit about, and maybe Marilyn, you can chime in on this a little bit too, because it seems like you know the family history, that your mother's parents and where they came from and how they got to this country, and your father's as well, if you know that.
Well, Mom's parents were German, and we don't really know when they came over. Probably the early 1800s. And our grandfather was in business with someone else in wholesale groceries, was it, or
Yes.
in
In the Albany
around
area.
Albany? And I have a picture somewhere where driving a trailer, and it has Mergis and whatever the other name was, but drawn by a horse,
Mm-hmm.
around
Yeah.
Albany.
Sure.
And
And then he later, they sold that, and he had a business with tractors. I think he was one of the first ones that had a tractor business.
This would have been your grandfather?
Yes,
Okay,
like my
Alright.
father's mother.
okay.
No, my mother's father.
Mother's father,
Mother's father,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And then I think he took sick, and he was sick for a long time.
Okay,
So then he lost the business, and
okay. Do you know anything about your mother's mother?
yes.
She was just
well, we lived with.
we
with
lived with them, and she
She
moved.
owned the house in Albany,
Okay.
Right,
and
and then
we lived there with
Mhm.
her.
Before you moved out here, obviously.
and she moved down here
Yeah.
with us,
Okay,
and so she lived until she was 91.
wow, okay. So she
So-
moved out here when you moved out here from
Yes,
South End to
yes.
South End, okay.
Mhm.
How about your father's family at all? Do you know anything about them and how they got here?
Well, they came over on a ship
On a
from
ship at
I
night
think
from,
was Austria.
Austria.
Russia?
They're Polish, but I guess they lived in Austria.
Mhm.
And then they went east and came over in 1912.
Okay, all right.
And they stayed down in the Brooklyn area for a while, I guess, because that's where my father and sister, a couple of his brothers were born down in that area, and then they moved up this way.
Okay. Do you have any idea why they moved up? Just for
No, I
career
don't know.
factors?
You know, at that time,
People
you,
moved around.
you
a lot.
didn't
Yeah.
discuss ancestry like you do nowadays.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
too bad. There's none of them left anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, we wish we had, pursued it more, with the family. But when you would get together, it was just,
Yeah,
local chit chat. You didn't go back.
sure. Okay. So your mother's mother lived with you here, and the other grandparents, did you knew, other than your mother's father? It sounds like you knew him, but did you know your father's grandparents or your father's parents at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember them when they lived down there, because they used to take me along. My father,
Mm-hmm.
we'd go down and visit, or he'd go down and work down there to help his father, because he farmed. Grandfather farmed down there.
Okay.
Um,
Whereabouts would that be?
it's where the Job Corps is now.
Okay.
Before Job Corps, there was a seminary in there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's when the seminary bought that place. That's when my grandparents had to move out.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the property here, and across the street, there was 20 acres across the street that was part of this property. My father gave a lot to my grandparents,
Okay.
and they started building a house. But during that time, sometime, I remember when was maybe in 52 or
55.
no, it was later than
Grandpa
that my
died.
grandfather died.
Yeah,
And
55.
the house wasn't done when he died, so my grandmother lived there alone, and then one of my father's brothers, actually two of them, lived there for a while with my grandmother across the
Okay.
street.
All right.
But like I said, they lived down there where Job Corps is now. It was a big farm, and I used to go down with them all the time. I remember my grandfather and my grandmother, and then one of my uncles was in the Navy, and he got polio,
Mm.
and then he lived down there with my grandparents. I'm not sure. I think he was married at the time, but him and his wife lived in there, and my father and his brothers built a ramp that he could get into the house with his wheelchair.
Wow. Okay. One of the reasons we're doing this interview is that the family, and I guess the sisters here, decided to donate some land here in Selkirk to the town of Bethlehem, or sell some. Can you talk a little bit about that and why that decision was made?
Well, we've been, our mother passed away in '98, and she left the farmland to the two of us. My brother got the one brick house, the duplex house next to it was my younger sister and my mother. But when my mother passed away, that, went to my sister. So we got the farmland. But we've been paying taxes on it for 25 years, and, you get nothing out of it. We did have the farmer, Stanton, Marilyn contacted them, and they were keeping the fields cut down and everything, which was good. Nothing out of it, but at least it was kept cut down instead of being overgrown. Days they go up to Glenmont shopping, whatever, and I see what was going on up there at East Dairy, with the big sign. So I wonder if they'd be interested in doing anything. And I talked to Marilyn. It's like, so we just let it ride. Oh my God, I don't know, months and months.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one day I said, the heck with it, I'm gonna call. So I called, and I happened to get Lauren, and wow, I didn't. It was perfect timing because it was the end. I believe it was the very, very end of August, and then she discussed it with whoever over there. We got together, and a grant or whatever. It had to be put in for, I think it was October 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Was the closing date on it,
Uh-huh.
and she got everything put in there, and it went before the board, I think, on October 11th, and zoom, 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 here we are.
So this property then, which was once part of the farm here,
Yes.
will be kind of forever kept in perpetuity as it is right
Yes,
now. Yeah.
yes, which is great because, there's so many kids, and when I told my daughter about it, who was a principal at the elementary school there, and she's, oh my God, she said that would be wonderful because this land borders land that used to belong to Lasher, but that was sold to the fire department.
Okay.
And the fire department is supposed to build this big monstrosity of a firehouse up there for, I forget what it was, $5-6 million, which got turned down. But eventually it will go in there. They need it. And of course, right next door to that is the school. And she said there's so many kids, they don't realize, they don't get out. They go home to a babysitter and they're stuck in front of the boob tube.
Mm-hmm.
Or, today everything is, they don't get to experience. And she said that'd be so wonderful if they could, make trails or whatever, and to get out and see nature.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had umpteen deer, I know when the kids were small, they used to stand in the doorway out there of what used to be the garage and watch for the bus come around the corner on cold mornings. And the one day the bus stopped back on the corner. I said, why is it stopping back there? And they're pointing, and there was, oh my God, I think there was 11 or 12 deer there. And of course, a lot of kids don't see that,
Sure.
We've had turkeys, and used to have pheasants. Our cousins, I guess they were, used to come down from Albany and go pheasant hunting.
Uh-huh.
But, so, just thought that would, really be something to preserve because there is nothing in the southern part of Albany County down this way. So it would be beneficial to the whole community.
I have a question. When the last time I was here, I can't remember, it was you, Marilyn, or someone said, someone was talking about the Corning family.
I'm sorry, but
Someone was talking about the
Corning. Yes, my
family.
father used to work for Corning, taking care of the horses.
Okay, on Glenmont Hill there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
When would that have been? When he was actually farming out here, or before that, or?
Probably in late 30s, early 40s.
So he was quite young then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't finish school. He stopped at 16,
Mm-hmm.
and got these different jobs.
So he worked in the stables, perhaps, or something like that.
Yeah, and that was probably just part time, I think.
Okay.